Family members and supporters are demanding justice for Sandra Bland after a grand jury failed to indict anyone for her death. Bland, the 28-year-old African-American woman, was arrested on July 10th when a traffic stop escalated into a confrontation with the officer involved. 3 days later, her body was found hanging from a trash bag inside her jail cell. Authorities say she killed herself, a claim her family rejects. They've also questioned why Bland was arrested and jailed in the first place and why she was kept behind bars for so long.
Sandra Bland had recently moved to Texas to start a job at Prairie View A&M University, her alma mater. She was driving near campus when Texas State Trooper Brian Encinia pulled her over and accused her of failing to signal a lane change. Police dashcam video that captured part of the arrest shows Encinia threatening to forcibly remove Bland from her car.
Oh, you seem very irritated.
I am. I really am, because I feel like this crap is what I'm getting a ticket for. I was getting out of your way. You were speeding up, tailing me. So I move over, and you stopped me. So, yeah, I am a little irritated, but that doesn't stop you from giving me a ticket. So, let's continue.
Are you done?
You asked me what was wrong, and I told you.
Okay.
So now I'm done, yeah.
Okay. You mind putting out your cigarette, please, if you don't mind?
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
Why am I...
Step out of the car.
No, you don't have the right.
Step out of the car.
You do not have the right to do that.
I do have the right. Now step out or I will remove you.
I refuse.
As the dash cam video continues, Officer Encinia escalates the situation when he threatens to light Sandra Bland up.
Why am I being apprehended?
I'm giving you a lawful order. I'm going to drag you out of here.
So you're threatening to drag me out of my own car?
Get out of the car!
And then you
I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now!
Wow.
Get out of the car!
Really, for a failure to signal. You're doing all of this for
Get over there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this to court. Let's do
Go ahead.
For a failure to signal. Yep, for a failure to signal.
Get off the phone.
On my school.
Get off the phone.
I'm not on the phone. I have a right to record.
Put your phone down.
This is my property.
Put your phone down.
Sir?
Put your phone down. Right now. Put your phone down. Come over here.
Y'all are interested.
Come over here now.
You feeling good about yourself?
Stand right here.
You feeling good about yourself?
Stand right there.
For a failure to signal, you feel real good about yourself, don't you?
Turn around.
You feel good about yourself, don't you?
Turn around now.
What are you?
Put your hands behind your back and turn around.
Sandra Bland can later be heard on video accusing the police officer of slamming her head into the ground. She said she had epilepsy, to which Trooper Encinia replies, "Good."
You just slammed her head into the ground. You not even care about that. I can't even hear. You slammed me into the ground and everything.
Sandra Bland was jailed and given $5,000 bond. 3 days later, she was found dead in her cell in the Waller County Jail in Texas. On Monday, a Texas grand jury rejected charges in connection with her death, although prison officers wouldn't face charges. Encinia could still be indicted when the grand jury reconvenes next month. Special Prosecutor Darrell Jordan said the case remains open.
It has been a very, very long day for us as well as the grand jury. After presenting all the evidence as it relates to the death of Sandra Bland, the grand jury did not return an indictment. The grand jury also considered things that occurred at the jail and did not return an indictment. There are other issues that the grand jury is still considering, and they will take up those issues when we return next month.
Bland's family is calling for charges against Encinia when the grand jury reconvenes. A wrongful death suit by the family names Encinia, along with 2 Waller County jail guards, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and Waller County. The family has also criticized the secrecy of the grand jury, whose deliberations are sealed. On Tuesday, protesters marched outside the Waller County Courthouse and in Houston to call on the Justice Department to bring federal charges against the officers involved. Sandra Bland is one of many African Americans whose death in police custody has galvanized the nation's Black Lives Matter movement and sparked demands for structural change in how police treat people of color. Well, the family of Sandra Bland is here now to talk about the case. We will be joined by her sister in a moment, but we are joined now by Geneva Reed-Veal, who is Sandra Bland's mother. And we're joined by Canon Lambert, the attorney representing Sandra Bland's family. Let's go first to Geneva Reed-Veal. Your response to the grand jury yesterday saying that they would not indict anyone in relation to Sandra's death in the Waller County Jail.
I'm disappointed, but not surprised. I just have to say right now that we were looking for transparency, and that's not what we have been experiencing in this whole journey here. So I'm, again, disappointed but not surprised.
And Canon Lambert, as the attorney for the family, your response to this recent development?
Well, frankly, I think you have to first understand what it is that a grand jury does and what it is in general. A grand jury is nothing more than an appendage or a tool of the prosecutor. What they do many times is that they'll convene a grand jury for the purposes of then saying, well, look, we submitted evidence to a grand jury, they assess that evidence, and then they come back and they realize that there's no reason for there to be an indictment. But in reality, those secretive proceedings are shrouded with problems and shrouded with misconception. The bottom line is that you don't know what evidence is being submitted. The prosecutor acts as the judge. There is no judge that actually oversees the proceeding. The prosecutor, excuse me, gets to cherry pick whatever evidence they want to submit and then withhold what other evidence they want to withhold. So they get to pick what it is that they want to present. And then thereafter, they're able to even go into using hearsay when they want to, unlike in ordinary judicial proceedings and the like. So we're not even allowed to be present, right? We're not allowed to test any of the evidence that they offer. We're not allowed to offer any evidence ourselves. So there's a whole big problem with what it is that grand juries do in the first place. But over and above that, the problem that I have in this particular case with this grand jury is that the 5 special prosecutors that were supposed to appoint, that were appointed by the DA of Waller County, they were supposed to be looking at this from the standpoint of assessing it as a homicide, according to Elton Mathis. But the lead special prosecutor, Paul Looney, 2 months ago in a Huffington Post article, he indicated they were not looking at Waller County to determine whether or not they had done anything criminal, but instead they were just looking prospectively to see if there was something they could do to suggest changes that they might make in the future. They didn't look at this from the standpoint of trying to establish whether or not there was anything criminally done. And so as a consequence, we find ourselves feeling very uncomfortable about this whole process.
We're going to break and then come back to this discussion. We're joined by Sandra Bland's mother, Geneva Reed-Veal, as well as the attorney for the family, Canon Lambert. And we'll be joined by Sandra's sister, Sharon Cooper. Hi, I'm Amy Goodman. I want to thank you for tuning in to Democracy Now! We are so grateful to our fans and followers for being a part of the daily conversation. By choosing a news source that's committed to the truth, you're carrying the message of independent media, reaching hundreds of thousands of people every day. In these times of war and elections, we need a media not sponsored by corporations that profit from war, but a media that's truly independent, funded by you. Democracy Now! Is not paid for by the weapons manufacturers, the insurance industry, or the oil, gas, coal, or nuclear companies. We don't take advertising or corporate underwriting dollars. That means we rely on your donations to make our daily independent news hour possible. We need your support today to keep bringing you the hard-hitting, in-depth reporting you've come to expect 5 days a week. Visit democracynow.org, or you can call 888-999-3877. That's 888-999-3877 to make your holiday gift to Democracy Now! Today. Thanks so much for sharing Democracy Now! Stories all year long.